Good day. Hey, my name's Dale Cates here with CDEF Thailand, Southeast Asia Deaf, and I'm here on location in Pontong, Roi Et, Thailand. Quick little message here. I want to make a quick video about what we're doing here and some of the things that some of our needs. I'm just putting it out there so you know what we're doing, where we're going, what our purposes are. If you want to know greater detail, contact me via our Facebook page. You can find us CDEF Thailand on Facebook. You can send me a message here through this video link here on YouTube as well. I'll answer you back, and happy to talk to you about anything you want to know. What are we doing? Well, we're here in Thailand, and my background is worked with the deaf in different capacities in the United States, and so great experience there. Living in Thailand now for 5.5 years. We started CDEF Thailand because there's a big need here. CDEF, Southeast Asia Deaf, not just Thailand, but Southeast Asia Deaf. There's a big need in Southeast Asia. We happen to be based in Thailand, so our goal is to reach and be working with deaf individuals and organizations throughout ASEAN. There's 10 countries in the ASEAN Association of Southeast Asian Nations, 10 countries, and so we want to work with the deaf. Our goal is to work with the deaf. We will be working with the deaf in all of those 10 countries in different capacities and ways. So we're here in Thailand now. We really got this Southeast Asia Deaf started up in May of this year, 2020, and we've had some success. We did a camp. Look on our YouTube channel, you'll see pictures of the camp and videos of the camp. It was a great success. But going forward, what our goals are is that we intend to this is a long-term commitment from me and our CDEF, Southeast Asia Deaf. It's a long-term commitment. It's ongoing. My vision is that this outlives me, and that we're able to raise up leaders within the deaf communities of Southeast Asia that will eventually be in leadership positions with the Southeast Asia Deaf organization. So that's our long-term goal. Now, what are we doing? Right now, I'm fluent in American Sign Language, and so I'm learning Thai Sign Language as we go. I'm actually going out to a local school for the deaf here in my province once a week, and the kids don't know they're doing this, but the students are actually teaching me sign language. I'm going out there talking with the kids, developing relationships. We did a camp for them back in September. It was a huge success. So we're building relationships now, and we're kind of getting to know the kids. They're getting to know us. We're getting to know the people at the school. They're getting to know us. And of course, like I said, the kids are actually teaching me Thai Sign Language. Now, we're able to communicate. It's limited, but we are able to communicate, me using American Sign Language and them using Thai Sign Language, because there are some similarities. But as we go across Southeast Asia, like anywhere else, every country generally has its own sign language. So as we grow, we're going to need a lot of help from people who are in those communities and know the local or the regional sign languages. That'll come. So what are we doing? Our goal here is to eventually set up a training center, like a vocational and technical training center for the deaf. The deaf in Southeast Asia, unlike in the United States or in Europe, Australia, Western countries, and some, I don't know about the other Asian countries, but in the West, the deaf have a lot of opportunities, and they've got schools that they can train at. For example, there's Rochester Institute, NTID, National Technical Institute for the Deaf. It's hooked up with, or part of Rochester Institute of Technology in Rochester, New York. There's Gallaudet University, and there's a few other training programs in the U.S. Great. In Southeast Asia, they don't have anything like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up a training center. It's going to be vocational technical training. Why? Why do we need to do that? Well, the deaf in Southeast Asia are extremely marginalized. They are, there's low expectations from society generally. A lot of that has to do with religious beliefs and whatnot. And so they're discriminated against. I saw some advertisements this morning for jobs. They were advertised for the deaf. Here, we were looking to hire deaf people. But even those ads, were discriminatory against the deaf, because in that the ads, there was I think 2 of them that I saw, we want to hire deaf people, but you got to have a hearing aid, or you've got to have some hearing. Well, what if somebody doesn't have the hearing aids? Don't work for them. They're not useful. What if they don't have any residual hearing? What if they don't have anything like that? They're not going to even be considered. So, you know, there are schools for the deaf, and they're doing a fine job, and I appreciate them. There's one college in Bangkok. It's hooked up with a big university down there in Bangkok, and they do have a deaf program for the deaf that want to attend there, that qualify to attend academically. Great, and I encourage people to attend those colleges, and if they can. But the great majority of deaf people in Southeast Asia are not going to go to college, are not going to go to university. It's not going to happen. So, job skills, marketable skills, vocational skills, technical skills, things that there's a great need for that. And so our goal is to set up a training center that will do that. And we're also going to offer counseling, leadership training. We're going to offer family resources for families that of the deaf, or the community around, where deaf people live. So they can have resources. They can go and learn more about deafness, or learn about sign language, and so forth and so on. So those are goals that we have for Southeast Asia Deaf long term. Now, we're in our infancy. We're starting now. We're a baby organization. We officially launched in May. Now, what we need to do next, going through the year 2021, we're going into a new year soon, and what we need to do in 2021 is we're in Thailand, our headquarters are here in Thailand, and we need to set up a foundation here in Thailand. This is a legal entity or structure, and what that will allow us to do is it'll allow us to start a training center. It'll allow us to bring volunteers in to work with us. It'll allow us to hire teachers as we grow. It'll just open up a lot of doors for us and make us be able to be more effective in a legal sense. Now, the challenge we have right now, like anything, you start something new, budget, finances. Now, to set up a Thai foundation in Thailand, I need to hire a lawyer, so we need to get a lawyer to do this for us. That's going to cost some money. To set up to register a foundation with the Thai government, it runs between $7,500 US to $15,000 US. $7,500 to $15,000 US. So we need all said and done on the high end, lawyer fees, setup fees, registration of the foundation, roughly $20,000 US to get started, to really get things moving. And so that's kind of a rough estimate of what we need to get that foundation started here in Thailand. And we'd like to do that within the next calendar year, 2021. Sooner than later, hopefully, not at the end of next year, but the earlier part of 2021 would be ideal, because that'll allow us to move through the year quickly and kind of accelerate towards our goals. And so, that said, big need here. Like I said, there's a huge need. There's a lot of kids. This idea for this, you can read on our Facebook page, but the idea for this, really, part of the idea, it was a seed of an idea 20 years ago, 25, 30 years ago. But I went to a camp. There was a girl living in a village. I did an English camp for a friend of mine. We went way out in some remote village, and we were playing a game with the kids. I had some kids come into my part of the camp, and there was a Thai teacher in the class in the room with me. She taught at that school, and I got to this one girl. She turned out she was deaf, and she was attending this remote village high school. And the teacher, I tried to talk to the girl in sign language. She didn't know sign language, and so I asked the teacher, "How's this girl learn anything?" And the teacher said, "Oh, she tries to read lips. She comes to school every day." Well, effectively, really, the girl learned nothing. So she was going to a building she's going to a school every day, not getting an education. Now, there's a lot of problems involved with that, right? So That got me thinking, and how many other kids are out there in these villages, and we want to reach those kids as well as the kids that are already in a school, in a deaf school. We know where the deaf schools are. We can reach them. We can go to them. But the remote kids, we have to find them. They're what I call the lost kids. Nobody knows where they are. I asked the director of my local deaf school, where are these kids? Do you know where they are if they're in a village? And they said they have no idea. They don't know where they are. So they're out there and they're lost. And they're not really getting education. These are lives that we're talking about. Human beings, precious human beings, that their lives matter. And it's on my heart to reach them and help them and to work with them. And so that's what we're doing here. If you want to help us in any way, we'd appreciate it. I'm not making this video as a plea for help in any way. I'm just here telling you what we're doing, why we're doing it, and where we're at and where we're going. So right now we're at the beginning. It's ground floor. We're a baby organization, Southeast Asia Deaf. I've had people from the Philippines, from Vietnam, from Bangladesh, from Cambodia, from Laos, from Thailand, Malaysia, Myanmar, all these countries. Deaf people have found our Facebook page and contacted me, sent me a message on Facebook Messenger. Can you help us? Can you help us? Can you help us? And sadly, I had to tell them, not right now. I don't tell them no. I just tell them I can't help them right now. Now our goal is to eventually be able to say, yeah, come on, and bring them into the training center and get them trained up and develop leaders in those countries and set up centers within those countries. So to be C-Deaf Thailand, C-Deaf the Philippines, C-Deaf Vietnam, etc., so forth. But right now we'll just set up a training center here. That's the first goal. This is long range. This is something that my vision for this is that it'll outlive me, that we raise up leaders within the deaf communities of Southeast Asia, and they're able to take over this organization at some point in the future. And when I'm gone, this organization continues to make an impact on people's lives. That's the goal. So just kind of want to give you an update on what we're doing here. Everything's good. Hot day, and December 7th, 2020. It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. All right, have a great day.